Yo, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet Violet VGC video. I'm your host, Jose Rocks. Today we have another episode of Journey Through VGC. The current format we in is Regulation D. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Alright, so we have the team that we just built in our previous chalk video, and it is all set to go. I did realize that I didn't create my Cleavor set before I ended the video, but it is pretty much just a choice scarf. It has about 176 speed EV, so you can pretty much outspeed everything with your scarf without having to. You pretty much outspeed everything with your scarf that doesn't have a booster energy and it's not named Regieleki, right? So other than that, this Cleavor and it's pretty much max attack. So other than that, you know, this Cresselia's team is gonna have. This is a chalk team. Right, so we have our chalk core with the first four, which is Cresselia, Heatran, Amoonguss, and Landorus. But we are missing Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan's not currently in the game. So I went ahead and used another Pokemon that starts with a K, which is going to be Cleavor, right? To finish off this team. So starting with Cresselia, we have Fairy Terror, which is really good. We have a lot of special attack investment on this Cresselia. So now it's threatening damage. Usually a lot of people run Moonblast on Cresselia with the Fairy Terror, but they don't run any special attack investment, right? So it hits, and unless it's hitting you for super effective, it's kind of hitting like a wet noodle, right? It's not doing any damage. So we wanted to, you know, be able to deal some damage with Cresselia. So Ice Beam threatens like a lot of the ground types in the format, especially Landorus. We threaten it with a one-hit KO. And Side Shock does a lot of damage into like Iron Hands, into Amoonguss, just a lot of Pokemon that are weak to Psychic, right? Which is really good. And then we have Heatran here. This is going to be a very powerful Heatran set. We have no speed investment on this Heatran because we want it to be able to operate inside of Trick Room. So it's not min speed though, but it's just no speed investment. Pretty much we have 216 EVs in the special attack, and then the rest goes into bulk, right? So we have Heat Wave, Earth Power, Terra Blast, Protect with Life Orb. This Heatran is actually going to be the Fairy Terror. This is to give us a good matchup since we already have, you know, grass coverage with Amoonguss. It gives us a matchup that fairy coverage is really key into like removing Iron Hands and a lot of Pokemon that are weak to fairy that want to like kind of be bulky and sit on the field in front of Trick Room, right? And the goal of this team is, if you do get Trick Room up, is to pick up as many KOs as possible, and that's what this team, you know, does really well. And the next set is going to be my Amoonguss set. So this Amoonguss is the Amoonguss that I used in the my Worlds Remix video, where I took the team that won Worlds this year by Shohei, and I pretty much remixed it and changed the sets up. So this is that same Amoonguss. I just slapped it on here because it is a part of the chalk core, and it's a pretty powerful Amoonguss set. It does surprisingly a lot of damage with Leaf Storm into water types, and has a good matchup into those, right? It's pretty standard with Water Terror, Rocky Helmet, Pollen Puff, Leaf Storm, Spore, and Rage Powder. The next set is going to be our most interesting set on this team, and that's going to be our special attacking Landorus. So this Landorus is Water Terror to give me more bulk with the Citrus Berry, which allows you to sit on the field in front of water types and successfully get a Nasty Plot off, and then go for those Sand Shear Storms, and that's a tongue twister, and Psychics. Sand Shear is a really good move. It is inaccurate, but it's just like Bleak Wind Storm, where, you know, it's 80% accurate, it hits both targets, and has a 30% chance to inflict a secondary effect, which is going to be dropping, actually burning, right? So it can burn your opponents, which can be really clutch into, like, you know, stalling out some physical attackers that might do well into your team. And I think it does at +2. The Sand Shear is hitting a lot harder than Stumping Tantrum does from the physical Landorus. So I think it's a really cool set when it comes to that, and it's a really strong Pokemon. I really enjoy using it, and I feel like this might not be the best team for it to work, but I did want to get, you know, a little bit more special coverage on my team because I felt like Heatran and Cresselia weren't always doing it. And even though I am doubling up on the ground type coverage, you know, and the psychic type coverage, because I have both of those from that, just Landorus plus Intimidate and being able to threaten, you know, the double hitting ground move, I think is really clutch. And also the Nasty Plot just makes it feel threatening, and your opponents might want to like double into it when they see that you Nasty Plot, because they don't know how much a special Landorus can really do to them or what moves you're potentially carrying, right? And the Psychic is just so you can hit Amoonguss, because Amoonguss can be pretty annoying for this team. So that's the idea behind that, and that's why you also have Protect, which when your opponent wants to double up into Landorus. So next we have Cleavor. Kleavor is a really powerful Pokemon, so this is going to be Choice Scarf, like I said. It is Fighting Terror, so that when you go for close combat, you get those really powerful stab boosts at close combats, and you're able to one-shot like a lot of Pokemon like Heatran on a lead, or anything that's like weak to fighting. Scizor can surprise them with, you know, its coverage. Now, Bug, Rock, and Fighting hits like a lot of things in the format right now, especially with Ogerpon and some of the new Pokemon coming from Kitakami, the Tilmass DLC. A lot of those Pokemon do not do well into Scizor. The Fire Ogerpon does not like Stone Axe. Water Ogerpon does not like X Scizor. The Grass Ogerpon does not like X Scizor. The Rock Ogerpon does not like X Scizor, right? And you just do a lot of damage to them. I guess the Sinistra can deal with you pretty well by surviving your hits and going for Strange Sap, but Sinistra's not going to want to deal with your Heatran, right? So you have a lot of options for that, which makes this Scizor really strong. This Scizor also with Sharpness, it's really good on lead with like removing threats that want to try to, you know, stop your Cresselia from setting up Trick Room, whether it's like Tornadus or Chi-Yu. And now you can go for like Stone Axe to remove both of them. And the idea behind this team with Kleavor is that even though like you might not want to pivot out with U-turn, if you're stuck on the field when Trick Room goes up, we have a lot of bulk and good switch-ins on this team. So even if Kleavor does get caught outside of Trick Room, like it picks up a KO and you get Trick Room up successfully and now Kleavor is stuck on the field, don't feel afraid to, you know, switch out into Heatran, switch out into our hands, because we have a lot of bulk on the team. And if you switch properly, like those are good switches for it. Even Amoonguss and Landorus are good switches for it, right? The only thing you probably can't switch into is like a water type attack into Kleavor and switch into Heatran, right? Or Landorus, then you're taking a lot of damage there. But you do have Amoonguss if you want to play that route. But other than that, like Kleavor is really strong. I do think it has a niche on this team and a niche in the format. And I think bug coverage is going to be really good going into Regulation E. And I think Kleavor is something interesting that a lot of people should try out. Next and last but not least, we have Iron Hands. Iron Hands is another one of the stars of this team. Iron Hands is just so good in Scarlet and Violet. It's one of the best Pokemon introduced. It's just as good as Fluttermane. It is the best Paradox Pokemon from the future. And just like Fluttermane is the best Paradox Pokemon from the past, right? They kind of go hand in hand. One's physical, one's special, one's fast, one's slow, or one's bulky, one's frail. So you know you kind of get the best of both worlds. But Iron Hands, the way it complements Trick Room teams can't be understated, right? Fake Out plus Cresselia is really hard to stop Trick Room from going up. And like now with Cresselia being able to deal damage, when you get Trick Room up, Cresselia with, you know, the Ice Beam, Side Shock plus Drain Punch, Wild Charge on Iron Hands is just really good coverage into the format, to where all you need to do is get Trick Room up, and you don't have to switch, right? You don't have to worry about like those hard Trick Room teams that need to bring in a sweeper from the back. You're just cleaning up with Iron Hands and Cresselia and dealing a lot of damage, right? And you're able to keep healing both of them with Lunar Blessing. And what this team likes to do with Iron Hands and Cresselia is both of them can stick on the field throughout your first Trick Room. And then when it's finally time for them to come off the field, you can get another Trick Room set up with Cresselia because they're so bulky. And now your opponent may finally be able to take one of them down, but then you just get your Heatran or your Amoonguss or your Landorus in from that point, right? And like I said, this Landorus is also pretty slow. It's not Choice Scarf and doesn't have any speed investment, so that it can play in Trick Room, right? So that's the idea behind that. And like I said, this team is also, even though it does show Trick Room, it's also not like stuck doing Trick Room, right? Because you don't have to Trick Room against other mons that are slower than you, like hard Trick Room teams. You can play outside of Trick Room, which this team with Landorus against the Armarouge, which they think they can follow me with Indeedee and not Terror, and you still just knock them out with Sandshrew Storm, which is really clutch. But last but not least, the last move on Iron Head is going to be Ice Punch. Ice Punch is really good into Landorus, right? And like I said, the idea behind this team is you want to pick up KOs fast, and a lot of Landorus like to switch in on this team. And if Cresselia is like stuck doing Trick Room or going for Lunar Blessing, you can always go for the Ice Punch with your Iron Hands so that you're not walled by Landorus, and now you can remove it from the field because they just can't switch in safely against this team like they want to help stall out Trick Room. And that's one of the strengths of this team, is that it's not easy to switch in on this team and stall out Trick Room once Trick Room goes up. And it's also hard to beat this team with a hard Trick Room team as well. And that's going to be it for a breakdown. You know, if you like this type of content, go ahead and leave a like for me, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, because I'm doing my best to post content every single day. And you know, if I'm not posting a video, I'm posting a short, but I'm getting some type of content out for you guys. And you know, I'm trying to grow my channel. And you know, every like and comment and subscribe goes a long way and towards, you know, helping me continue to make more content for you guys. But that's gonna be it. Let's get into these battles. Okay, so we have Flamingo. So what are you gonna copy, or are you just a wide guard set? So it's Salamence, Fluttermane, Ogerpon, Fire, Rillaboom, Urshifu. First off, I know my opponent is pretty weak into Trick Room. I could leave Cleavor, right? I pressure like a lot of his team. With bug type attacks. I don't think Landers is good here, so he trained Iron Hands in the back. He should bring Rilla, right? But if he fakes out, then I can just like remove his Rilla. Let's see what you got, AK. Can you deal with chalk? Alright, what are we leading with? Alright, Salamence, Flamingo. Not an ideal lead. But I can go for Trick Room here. I feel like Salamence should Terra. I think it's safe to U-turn out here, save Cleavor for later. I want to break a potential Sash here. He didn't Terra Salamence. I don't know how much Stone X is going to do there to Salamence at -1. Look at Iron Hands right here. Perfect switch for that slot. It is taunt. Okay. And that's his only option for stopping Trick Room that's not consistent, because we have the Mental Hurt. So now next turn I have, you know, I threaten Ice Beam, which he's not, maybe he probably won't expect on Salamence. And Wild Charge onto Cresselia is really good offensively here. I'll go Wild Charge onto this thing. Should be a one-hit KO if it doesn't protect or doesn't Terror. He has to switch or protect, right? Salamence may switch out to reset Intimidate. Yeah, Salamence goes. Alright, Rillaboom. Rillaboom still's not gonna like this Ice Beam. If he's Assault Vest, it may do maybe 30-40%. Okay, but we do KO Flamingo, which is perfect. Alright, so when you get Trick Room up, you really just want to start removing pieces and dealing damage. And I have Cleavor in the back, so once Trick Room's over, like Cleavor hits a lot of his team for super effective. And I'm Scarf. So my opponent's in a really sticky spot right now. What's his last? I would presume Salamence comes back out. Okay, it's Fluttermane. Special attack. Special attack is scary. I could switch out in the Heat Train. Ice Beam Rillaboom again. Actually, I want to deal damage. Let's hit Flutter Mane on the physical side, so it's in range of Heat Wave. And then Life Orb Heat Wave can double connect. Then I'll just Ice Beam to cover for a Salamence switch. And he burns his Terror right here. So if it's Fairy Terror, Moonblast, and a Heatran, I'm in a really good spot. Alright, it's Fairy Terror. So that makes me think that you're not going for Shadow Ball into Cresselia, which would be a good, like, Fake Out and Shadow Ball and Cresselia would be like a good play here, but he didn't go for either. Alright, I did 50%. Yeah. Okay. Is it just Gleam? Okay, it's Gleam. Alright, Cresselia survives. But I am in range of Grassy Glide. But I'll still Ice Beam Flutter Mane here in Heat Wave. If he has Glide, he has Ogerpon on his team, so he may have put Glide on there. He's been in Kitakami. So if you see Ogerpon, you should expect Glide on Rillaboom. But he's going to lose Rillaboom if he goes for this play. And I could potentially burn Salamence on the switch. Oh, but he just protects, okay. So he doesn't risk it. Oh. No Glide. I cry every time, man. Heatran. Like, Heatran can just win the game, and it's like it just doesn't want to win the game sometimes. Like, that was a horrible turn. Wow. Alright, so we still have another turn of Trick Room. I think Flutter Mane's gonna switch into Salamence here, so I can. I'm gonna Ice Beam and Ice Punch that slot. Could have went for Wild Charge. I still think Cleavor should be able to sweep this game. Yeah, nice. That was the cover for the Intimidate swap in. Heatran made this game substantially tougher missing the Heat Wave. If that connects, that's just game over. And I can safely Wild Charge into Flutter Mane the last turn and Ice Beam Salamence. I knew he had Glide though. I'm not gonna Terra yet because Salamence does get flying type attacks. Let's just remove Rillaboom. Oh, what? That's not good. Rillaboom is gonna remove itself with him. Does this KO me? Nice. I'm very surprised he survived that with sharpness too. Now we should just win. Yep, I just don't Terra here, right? I think the turn that I misplayed by when I went for the Heat Wave, I should have Terra or Heatran just to cover for it missing. because seeing that he has Ogre Pond, I should have realized that, you know, he's gonna have high horsepower. He's gonna have Grassy Glide. His Rillaboom probably has the full new set of kit. Well, the kit that it has. And had I just Terra there, I would have survived high horsepower, and I could have got another Heat Wave off the next turn. But we still got the win. Let's get into the next one. All right. Another interesting team. And these are pretty high ranked opponents too. So he has Sableye, Landorus, Clodsire, Iron Valiant, Ogerpon, and Tornadus. So he has 4 really uncommon Pokemon, right? Iron Valiant is actually pretty good. We actually, you know, built a team around it. Landorus is gonna be good here, right? Because I'm immune to his Landorus. And I can beat the Clodsire. I think getting Trick Room up is valuable. I don't really see Cleavor being able to do a lot of work here. It really only beats the Tornadus and it doesn't even cleanly beat Ogerpon, right? Well, I guess I can Stone Axe it. But the Valiant resists that. I think Fairy Terror Heat Train is good here. And I think clicking Heat Wave is just consistent across the board. This Sableye, so I need to be careful of Encore. I think my opponent has Fake Out, so I don't want to just get wiped turn 1. So I'm gonna switch in a Landorus in case it's an Earth Power into that slot and trick him. I wonder if his Sableye has Encore. It's pretty annoying, actually. Okay. Is it screens? Oh, that's not ideal. Let's go for a Sand Shear that covers for switching. And a Terror. It should be tearing away from his 14 weakness rate. Surprise. Okay. And you're still weak to ice. And now I can hit you with Sand Shear. What are you gonna be going for? Oh. Cool. Now he can hit me with Sand Shear. Mine's is gonna hit too though. Cool strategy. I did a lot of damage. Alright, but we KO him with ours. Perfect. So he loses Terror and we get a burn on Sableye, which is pretty good. But now our Sand Shears are 100% accurate. But my Landorus is really slow right now. Due to the lagging tail. So I'm just gonna heal us up and go for another Sand Shear. I don't think Colossar has anything to hit landers. Of course, I keep forgetting that he got gravity down, right? So he can hit me with ground type attacks. He's snarling. So I can hit it with Side Shock, which hits on the physical side. Terra and the Fairy is not good here. That Colossar can hit me. Does he have another ground type? Could be Valiant. Let me turn the trick on though. I really need to just take out this thing, right? It's the one that's threatening. I don't want to Terra just yet, because if it's Ogerpon, I'm just gonna make myself even to it. Alright, so he has Snow, Trick, Gravity. I think it's Ogerpon in the back. I think I just gotta eat the Howlers probably. Oh, he went after that slide though. I don't know if this is enough to KO. Of course, Sableye slower than me in Trick Room. Okay, but I can go for a Lunar Blessing now and start healing back up. He hasn't revealed his last move yet. I wonder if it is. Can't believe how good this Colossar is into what I have right now. But I gotta hold my Terra. I gotta see what his last is. Okay. It is Ogerpon. Alright, Ice Punch did size of a chip. I'm actually not gonna set Trick on back up. I'm just gonna ignore Sableye. It's not doing anything with Snarls. It's kind of like a dead slot. No, I don't want to set Trick him up. Lunar Blessing. Drain Punch. If Ice Punch did about 25%, then Drain Punch might do about 50. Taking the Assault Vest is not gonna do anything, but now you can't do any more shenanigans. Alright, so we lose Crest here. Yeah, he has nothing but physical attackers left, so taking the Assault Vest doesn't do anything. And now he can only click Snarl. Did he have high horsepower here? I'm gonna Terra just in case. I don't need to go for the miss. I'm a Terra. Air power covers for a switch in. My opponent's already Terra, right? And then this Wild Charge, Saberlight. Just kill this thing, because it can snarl my Heatran. And this Terra is the cover for a high horsepower. My opponent's team is really annoying with the Saberlight. Yeah, but now it's neutered. Yep, so that's why I don't want to go for that. He may get a Snarl off, which is fine. I think we can win the 1v1 against... Oh, we're faster. Goodbye. Right, now it's just an easy... He could Ivy Coach with crit. I think that's his only way out, but I think we should survive a crit on both. We're pretty bulky here. And Ice Punch should finish off Clodsire. And we're 100% accurate on our moves, so we should be good. He can't Terra, so he can't get an attack boost on his Ogre opponent. But this is how you can make your favorite Pokemon work. If your favorite Pokemon is Clodsire, like putting Clodsire around good Pokemon and niche Pokemon, that's how you make it better. Okay. No crit. Because Ogrepons are really strong Pokemon to play alongside Clodsire, as well as Saberlight being kind of annoying, right? And if your favorite Pokemon is Landorus. And Trick Room actually benefited him, right? Because Clodsire and Saberlight were both slower than my Iron Hands and my Crest. But we were able to pull off that win. The last time I played against Clodsire, I actually lost to it. I've only played against it twice in Regulation D. And funny enough, it's like, it's not that good, but it's like poison and ground coverage. Like a lot of things like that are weak to ground, like the Terra like into a type that's weak to poison, like Heatran tearing into Fairy, Iron Hands tearing into grass, or Heatran tearing into grass. Then he can just hit you with the poison moves, right? And then same thing with poison, like to be immune to like poison, you want to tear into like, you know, steel type, you know, and then ground just hits you, right? So it's like, it's really good coverage. It's really good typing. But let's get into the next one. All right, next up, another Ogrepon. So this is a faster team. So I know he wants to shut down Trick Room, right? How does he plan on doing that? Probably Chien-Pao. My team is clearly Trick Room, right? So Tornadus should never come out here. They could go Tornadus plus Ivy Cutchel, right? I think Heatran does well to his team under Trick Room. Landers, I'm gonna go Cleavor, just to kind of clean up after Trick Room's over, or have an option that can outspeed him if he doesn't get his tailwind up that he may not expect. In Cleavor, I can do well into Rillaboom and Ogerpon. Where's Darkrai? Oh, this is easy Trick Room. Terra, Trick Room. Wild Charge you. And if you close combat, you drop your defenses and make yourself weaker to Iron Hands. Alright, so he's switching. Alright, that's a good switch. Oh, the double switch. So I did burn my Terra for no reason. But he didn't set up the sun. See, my idea was that he was going to stay in and probably click Leaf Wind plus Wicked Blow. But I could have just faked out that slot in the Trick Room. But I was trying to pick up the pace, you know, get a KO on Tornadus. And the thing that you want to do, like I said in Trick Room, is accelerate the pace. So now he's stalling me out because now he has Spiky Shield on Ogerpon. Would he really go first? If he terrors and tries to one-shot Iron Hands, ooh, wait. I'm gonna Ice Beam this slot. Switching to Heatran. If he terrors Ogerpon and try to one-shot my Iron Hands or this slot, then it's gonna boost my Fire type moves, which is what I actually want. Ah, he didn't go for it though. Okay. Probably just a wood hammer. Oh! Good play. That was incredible. That was a really good play. I mean, that's not even a read because... Yeah, that's not a read because high horsepower hits Iron Hands super effective too. Oh, that crit definitely mattered. So we do remove Ogerpon, which is helping accelerate the pace. Alright. So Iron Hands is positioned pretty good because he went all in on knocking out my Iron Hands that turn. That crit definitely, I think it mattered. I don't know how much Side Shock into Drain Punch does. I'm gonna try to remove Rillaboom here. He can get another Glide off, but I can't let him high horsepower me again. So that's a dead turn for him. I think Trick Room ends after this turn. Okay. Nice. We may have one more turn. I think Trick Room ends right here, though. Alright, there's Urshifu. Did I get taunted? Oh, there's one more turn of Trick Room. I want to double the Lander slot. I mean, Tornadus. And my opponent cancels. Let's go. He did get the read right and one hit KO on my Heatran, but Iron Hands was just too good into his team. The crit definitely mattered. I don't know if he picks up the one hit KO on Iron Hands if it's not in the sun, but he does have a chance to crit as well. Ivy Cutchel with the Fire Terror does so much damage. But nice, we were able to get the win, and we still had Cleavor in the back to come in, and I was able to click close combat into his Urshifu, so we did have a super effective move. So all we had to do was pretty much break Urshifu's Sash with Ice Beam, and then we'd be in a good spot. Alright, we have another high-ranked opponent. He has the dual Follow Me with Ogerpon, Water, and Mousehold. And then he has Chi-Yu, Heatran, Landorus, and Tornadus. So against teams like this, I like to lead Cleavor with Cresselia, because that threatens the Chi-Yu, right? If it tries to go for some shenanigans against Cresselia. Iron Hands, again, looks incredible into his team. And now we just need to find something to deal with his Landorus. I think Fairy Terror Heatran is good here. I don't think Landorus can intimidate his Landorus, but that's about it. I can't really hit anything. I mean, I hit 2 of his fire types with Sandshear, but I mean, I guess that's debatable. I can't hit the Ogerpon. I can't hit his Landorus. Among Us dual fire types, and he has Follow Me with a grass type. It's just not good here. It's debatable whether I need Cleavor over Landorus. If he didn't have Chi-Yu, I may bring Landorus, but my Cleavor is here to threaten Chi-Yu, which always comes out on lead against Crest. He needs Tornadus. Oh, is this Sword Stance? Go for a U-turn here. And Trick Room. I think this may be Sword Dance Ogerpon. Okay. He protects Ogerpon this turn, which is okay. I could have threatened a KO there. I don't want to bring Heatran in right there. It is so stance. Okay. I could have close combated that Mousehold. Alright, so fake out Ogerpon. Try to remove Mousehold. This won't remove it, but next turn we can put. Let's see if it tears here. That's a good terror. Is it just double? Oh, he didn't even protect Ogerpon. Good play. Alright, so my opponent's making some game-winning plays. think I need to Terra here. I get the feeling he may not follow me for some reason. I'm gonna double this slot. If he spiky shields and attacks with mouse hold, then he's gonna just okay. I had the feeling that he was gonna do this. I wonder if he's gonna Terra here and try to knock out Iron Hands. He didn't Terra. That thing is bulky. Yeah, Terra there probably would have won me the game. Alright, that doesn't do too much though. You should spiky shield here. How many turns of trick on my left? 2. I don't know if Lander stays in here either. I'm gonna Drain Punch Landorus and Ice Beam. I think he spiky shields here, switches Landorus out. If it's mouse hold, at least we get rid of mouse hold. Okay, we got that turn right though. But now my opponent knows we're carrying Ice Beam. Take a little bit more from Chip. Okay. I mean, realistically we can get another trick room up here. If he has a fire type, you should switch into it. I'll double it just in case I do KO. Then that redirects into Landers. Water Terror, okay. Yep, but now I just hit you with, I mean, you should U-turn here. Which is fine, I'm just gonna switch Iron Hands out. Okay. What's your final? Is it Heatran or is it Chi? Chi would be pretty scary here. Heatran, okay. I think Heatrans are free switching here. If he goes for like U-turn Heat Wave, then like he's in a bad spot. My Iron Hands are still good here because I can Drain Punch and Wild Charge. And I can heal it up with Lunar Blessing. Oh, this is Rock Slide. Okay, that did a decent amount. Okay, he boosted my heat train now. Perfect. Okay, I can't take another double up one of those. But we do get Trick Room up. Let's go. Beautiful. And now he's locked in the Rock Slide. So I can Earth Power you. And Lunar Blessing. If he's not locked in the Rock Slide, then I just get the free Iron Hand switch in. And he protects here. He may even be Assault Vest. Yeah, but I don't think he can deal with another turn that triple me up. So it's Protect, which is fine. Should just be Rock Slide here again. I think he's Scarfed. If you have U-turn Rock Slide, like, how do you fit Protect onto that? Unless you're Assault Vest. Because Heat Train is not Assault Vest. So let's see. Yep, that's locked into it. Because you would just go for Stomping there. And this should do Heat Train in. Nice. It's that Earth Power Life Orb. So even if you were super bulky, you're never taking that. Then we just keep healing back up. And now we just keep clicking Earth Power. And Cleavor just beats Iron Hand. I mean, Cleavor outspeeds it. Well, maybe not, because he's Scarf. But Cleavor should be able to... Well, Cleavor is weak to Rock. I mean, I guess he could just keep clicking Rock Slide and get a bunch of flinches. This team is strong. Like, what? I can't wait to remake it in Regulation E. Because I did want to swap out Cleavor for another Pokemon that starts with a K, which I won't reveal just yet. But man, this this team is good. But like I said, we're gonna redo this team and make it a little bit stronger and switch it out for another Pokemon, a newer Regulation E Pokemon. Ooh, okay. This is an interesting style. So it's Snow, but it has Thunderous. And he has Armarouge and DD. Azumarill, Articuno, and Abomasnow. So first off, outside of Azumarill, my Heatran is good into 5 of his Pokemon, right? Heatran is really good here. Cleavor is good with rock damage. Iron Hands can help me deal with Azumarill. So I know I want... Cleavor deals with like the top 4 super effectively. Well, all of them. I hit 4 of his Pokemon with rocks and 3 of them, or 2 of them with bug type moves. So I know I want those 3. Do I want Crest? I think I can surprise my opponent by leading this. Because I am Terra Water. And Iron Hands Heatran in the back. I don't think I need Trick Room here. I think I just need Bulky. And Terra Water looks amazing here. Because I resist the Azumarill, I resist the Blizzard spam. Articuno does get Freeze Dry. I want to Terra go for a Nasty Plot. Stone X and Abomasnow because he has Grass type attacks. One of them's gonna Terror because Scizor is too threatening here. Scizor is so good offensively here. You just gotta pick the right targets. Alright. I think it's Articuno though. Right, you should want to protect Articuno more than Abomasnow. Yep, okay. Is it water too? Brown, okay. So now we can hit everything with Sandshear now that we have +2. He does threaten with Freeze Drum. Ah. Okay. It should just be Blizzard here, right? I hope we're faster though. Oh, we are faster. Perfect. Alright, so we get Nasty Plot off Blizzard. Now Freeze. Alright. So Sand Shear. That Blizzard did a lot. Stone Axe. He should switch it, but I mean, he really only has a Zumo. Alright, everything else is taking decent damage. Oh, Indeedee, okay. Indeedee's not gonna like taking a Sand Shear. Alright, we do connect. Rocks are up. Okay, we missed something. Alright, Indeedee's gone. It's actually going to be hard to hit Articuno. That's a crit. Because I forgot the snow is up. Does Articuno have Terra Blast? He potentially could, right? He's only clicked Blizzard. I think I'm gonna go Iron Hands. I'm gonna fake you out actually, because you have access to Wide Guard. Oh, Wide Guard goes before Fake Out? Oh, I can't Fake Out anyway. The terrain's up. I'm tripping. It's just a dead turn for me. Yeah, I don't deserve to get out of this turn. Well, I totally forgot about he should go for another Wide Guard here. Alright. Ice Punch should do a lot to Articuno. Connect 50%. Okay. I think Heatran beats everything he has. I think that would have KO'd. And he does have Terra Blast. Oh, wow. I don't mind losing Articuno, man. If we end up losing payback. think he could take another double up. Snow did stop. Dang, the psychic would have KO'd. I would have been in a really good spot. Alright, let's see. How fast is my heat train? Because my Landers was outspeeding at Articuno. 99. 112. 13 speed higher. Would heat train really be faster than that? I need to play aggressive here. Yeah, I need to play aggressive here. That's because I'm on the back burner. He does. I could have just protected. I could have protected. Yeah, protecting Ice Punch would have won me the game. I wanted to do it, but yeah, Terra Blast grind is strong. I had a feeling that he had it, but I think it would be good if I just hit my Is this a terrain extender? Yeah, it is. I was like, why is Psychic turning around so long? Okay. We'll play it by my opponent. Look at his trainer card. It's a butt. These people are hilarious. That was a good win. We'll get into one final game because I want to end all my teams that I'm using for Regulation D with a win. So we're going to play one more and get one more win with this team. And then we're going to wrap it up. We'll play by my opponent. Let's get to the last one. Alright, final game. And we get going up against the ranked 6 player. Interesting. So he has Goodra. My Landorus is like a perfect counter into that, right? How do I position it though? You should leave Rillaboom. Cleavor is good into that. I want Landorus and Iron Hands. Heatran's good too. Yeah, let's go like that. Cleavor actually, I mean, he threatens 4 of his Pokemon. But so does Heatran. But I gotta protect Heatran more. I think I might have should have brought Cleavor. I think the Scarf, the unpredictability of the Scarf could have helped me a lot. We'll see based on what he leads. Cleavor would have been good. This is Trick Room. Fake out here. Arcanine should switch. I don't see why I would stay in. Yep. So he just wants to get more into me this game. This was a free switch in into Heatran though. I think I can set up with Landers here. Yeah, he's not gonna click high horsepower into Cresselia, and if he clicks high horsepower into Landers, it's just a waste of money. We resist the Wood Hammer, so this is a good double switch by me. Whew. That did a lot of damage. I was not expecting that much damage to come out. Yeah, I don't have time to go for Nasty Plot. Alright, should be Arcanine, but... Oh, Zapdos, okay. Zapdos is not going to want to take this heat wave, though. If it was Arcanine over there, I think this would have been game over. Yeah, if we hit Sandshear here, we're going to be in a really good spot. Yep. Because he's just getting greedy. We hit Heat Wave. Good damage. Okay. Bulky Zapdos with a berry. Come on. Nice. Two turns left. I wish that would have KO, but he has a lot of special defense on his. Well, it's naturally special defense. Okay. So we get this turn right. Nice, we hit Heat Wave. Right, we should KO Zapdos here. Ah, survives. We missed Hurricane though, okay. Alright, I need to get Crest back out. Yeah, we're still relatively bulky and we've done a lot of damage here. I need to get another Trick Room back up though, and I think that'll seal the game. So we get a Trick Room up and KO Goodra here. His only switch in into Earth Power is Rillaboom, but if he switches in Rillaboom, he gives up his boost on Goodra. So we eat the body press, perfect. And we should KO Goodra. Nice. Alright, Zapdos does get a free attack off, but he could potentially miss Hurricane here. Oh, it's just worse. Okay. Sticks around a little bit longer. Alright, you bring out Rillaboom here, like I'm threatening you with Heat Wave plus Trick Room. And if you bring out the Arcanine, I'm gonna switch into Landorus and go for Trick Room. Alright, so it's Rillaboom. So I'm just gonna click Heat Wave plus Trick Room. He hasn't Terra'd yet though. Rillaboom should Terra here, that's probably just game over because we're gonna one-shot Rillaboom. We just gotta hit. Yeah, my opponent's back against the wall. You know, given no shenanigans here, I think we should be set. Like, Zapdos has to hit inaccurate Hurricanes, which favors me. He already missed one. So he gives up Rillaboom. So he nice, and he double connect Rillaboom. Oh, Rillaboom survives. What? Okay. Well, he has to target Cresselia here, right? For another Trick Room. Had he missed Hurricane there, he would have been in a really bad spot. Yeah, bulky Rillaboom. So he's saving Terra for Arcanine to get around Earth Power. And he misses Hurricane. Oh, yeah. So that's going to be game. And we survived that too. Yep, so we should connect. If we connect Heat Wave here, we're good. But we do miss, so we stay out. The Trick Room goes up. Alright, so I'm just gonna protect an Ice Beam Zapdos and see what he tears into. He does have E-Speed too, though, right? I mean, cancels. Let's go. We beat the ranked 6 player. He bet it all on Hurricane. I don't think Hurricane KO'd there. It's crazy. My Heatran survived that full power Wood Hammer, but my Landorus took like over 50% at -1. That is insane. But that shows you the power of Rillaboom and the bulk on Heatran. Alright, but that's going to be it for our matches. So we did get our final win against the ranked 6 player. And now let's get into a final review with this team. Alright, final review with this team. This team is insane. I want to leave this team exactly like it is. I would not change a thing because I think it does what it does well. I am going to be remaking this team and I'm going to change the sets up some. And I'm gonna be remaking it for Regulation E, because I do want to redo Chalk with one of the new Pokemon that's coming out, right? So I'm gonna swap out maybe one or maybe two, we'll see. But as far as this team, Cresselia set was amazing. This Cresselia Ice Beam and Side Shock, you know, pressures a lot of things in the format. It can't hit Chien-Pao, but you have so many other things on your team that hit Chien-Pao. Literally every other one of my Pokemon except for Landorus hit Chien-Pao for super effective, right? You can hit it with Pollen Puff, hit it with bug type moves, rock moves, fighting type moves on Cleavor, fighting type move on Iron Hands, and fire type moves or fairy type with Heatran, right? So this team is really strong. The Life Orb makes Heatran do so much damage. The only inconsistency with this team is, Heatran missing Heat Waves, and, Landorus missing Sandshear, and Cleavor occasionally missing Stone Axe, right? But other than that, like, this team is really strong. A lot of the leads that threaten Cresselia for knocking it out, like those, Chi-Yu specs Chi-Yu, trying to ignore your Fairy Tera and going for like a boosted Sun move in the Sun, overheating the Sun, it just gets one shot by Stone Axe from Cleavor, right? It just threatens it. And also, like, Tornadus just will not set up Tailwind in front of you. So with Tornadus not wanting to set up Tailwind, Cleavor usually outspeeds a lot of the things, and you're able to like get stuff up, break sashes, which makes it easier for your Trick Room core, your team to sweep. The Landorus Nasty Plot, although we did lose against the Articuno team, I do feel like a +2 Psychic would have KO'd Articuno from like around 48% of his health that it had left. And I think we would have won the game from there, right? I don't think he had enough offense to beat us from there. My Iron Hands was positioned really good. One note, he did still have the Armor Rouge with Expanding Force, which could beat my Iron Hands. But as long as I outspeed his Abomasnow in case it has Earth Power and KO with Heat Wave, or no, I was just gonna Earth Power it because it was pretty low. Or I was Fairy Tera actually, right? Did I Fairy Tera? No, I was Water Tera. So I would probably just Earth Power it because of how low it was, just make sure I pick up the KO with Life Orb, and then I would just 1v1 the Armor Rouge, right? And I think we were in a really good spot from there, right? And also he had to connect Blizzards on my Landorus too, Landorus plus Iron Hands outside of the snow. But other than that, I didn't get to bring this Among Us team, the Among Us with this team, but it's a pretty standard Among Us. It's one of the Among Us that I use from my Worlds Remix team, where I remixed the world winning team. It's that same Among Us, right? So you just pretty much have Pollen Puff, Leaf Storm for dealing good damage into water types and like one-shotting Urshifu. And especially if Urshifu, you switch in on Urshifu and deal Rocky Hammer damage, even a bulky Urshifu can't take the Leaf Storm, and it can't really tear away from it because they're usually tear water. And then you're just really good on the Trick Room. But our sweepers were so good on the Trick Room that I didn't really feel the need to bring Among Us to put things to sleep. And we wasn't really threatened that much by any setup Pokemon, right? Outside of the Swords Dance Ogerpon, but we were still able to deal with that. But that's going to be it for this video. If you want to try this team out to, climb the ladder for the end of Regulation D, there is a rental code up at the top right, as well as a Pokepaste in the description below. Let me know with a comment if you guys like this team. And if you do, leave a like for me if you like this type of content where I remix, teams from the past and like make them kind of modern, because that's what I did with this chalk team. But again, I am going to redo this because I really had fun building this team. And now that I only made Landorus special because I had too many physical attackers, right? And I didn't want Cresselia and Heatran just to be my only two special attackers. I wanted a little more a special attack on that side. But now I can, make Landorus physical and play it the way it should be played because, I have something else that I want to swap out for Cleavor. But that's just a hint. If you want to put, the pieces together to figure out which one I'm going to use, then you can do it from there. And just let me know with a comment if you're able to guess what Pokemon I'm going to swap it out for. That's going to be in Regulation E. But like I said, leave a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.